What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So clearly you see the title of the broadcast. And of course, we're finna fly up here to Chicago real quick. So, we all been hearing the rhetoric online, stuff like that. We've been hearing people talk about, the Chicago, young ninjas is not going to tolerate this. They're not going to do this and that. And, what I'm saying? Things like that. They're not going to, they're these top notch, gang members and stuff like that. They're just not going to tolerate it out here.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Oh, no. Chicago's gang members and NYs and they got switches and they're gonna put switches on the National Guard. They're gonna get out there and we got switches, baby. Oh yeah, we got switches. Yeah, the National Guard. We don't care about whatever you got. The Army artillery. We got switches. It's crazy. Shit's crazy. But listen, look, man, we're going to go here now and we're going to check some things out. Because apparently, we got a few people here that don't agree with the Chicago ninjas and think that they're so brave and think that they're going to save the community. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
I know who won't be marching against ICE and the federal government coming in to clean up the city and streets of Chicago. It is the parents of those boys and girls who have lost their lives in the city due to high crime. I don't think they'll be marching with some of those anarchists and people who, want to keep crime in Chicago. What people need to understand is crime in Chicago is profitable. And the Chicago government or the state of Illinois, period, get funding from the federal government. And these monies are allocated to crime prevention. And they have obviously failed in that attempt. And now they want to keep crime rampant in those cities. So, I can see why the incompetent mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, and Pritzker want to keep the feds out of Chicago. But it is their obligation, the feds' obligation, to make sure that the people that are paying taxes are safe and have a good quality of life, which is why Trump wants to send the National Guard. So anybody who's against that is actually for crime. They're for the gangs. They're for the corruption in Chicago.
Yo, I definitely agree with that. And this has been a huge eye-opening situation to where we, even on my broadcast and stuff like that, and other people have said this too throughout the internet, that, to want to keep crime going, if certain people want to keep crime going, there has to be certain type of benefit to this. Nobody's going to, do anything without benefit. Definitely nowadays. But listen, look, all I'm saying is that what this gentleman here just said, it has to be some, validity to it. You can't want crime to keep going and your natural born American citizens are suffering. And you're bringing in these illegals that are, yes, by our laws in this country, the laws of the land, these people are illegal, and you're giving them benefits, you're giving them health care, you're giving them, things and stuff like that. But you won't do this for the natural born citizens that can work and will go out, pay taxes to the society and stuff like that, and really help keep the country running. When these other people are either sending money back home or they're, using it frivolously. Listen, look, regardless of what, I definitely agree with what this man just said. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something behind the scenes that's going on with these individuals, and they are not wanting the crime to stop. Crime does pay. And if we look at the history of Chicago, and I've said this plenty And multiple times throughout broadcast, when I talk about Chicago, Chicago has always been a gangster town for God knows how long now. So let's not negate those facts that those people that are growing up in Chicago don't know the history of that town. And they don't know the history of how corrupt politicians have been moving throughout that town for decades now. And then we want to sit around here and be shocked that Pritzker and Johnson and all is not a part of these, situations to where they, it's just a new age thing. The new age thing is to bring in a bunch of illegals and, saying the government keep giving them money to protect these illegals and do it and give these illegals all this type of stuff. But, so they wasn't counting on the fact that the administration was going to change.
What the French toast is that?
They wasn't counting on that fact. They was thinking that, the administration was going to stay the same for another 4 years, and they were going to keep capitalizing on all this, illegal immigration, bringing in all this tragedy. And by, the next 4 years, if they had still been in office, they were going to be, the whole society would have been a whole different situation. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to go here now, and we're going to keep going because this is real out here.
Anybody that's telling you that ICE or the National Guard or whoever Donald Trump sent into your city are specifically coming for black people, you need to never listen to them ever in your life again. Ever. They want y'all to believe that Donald Trump is sending in the military, ICE, to come get you. But we're American. So what do we got to worry about? Not only that, we have creators on this app saying that they're coming for us. Let me tell you something. That building that they raided was a Trinidad de Agua building. Point blank period. Yes, there were black people that lived in that building, but the majority of the people in that building were Trinidad de Agua. They got 37 of them, right? 37 members of that gang. Yes, were some black people detained for a hot second and they got let go. What are we talking about? I didn't see video.
We're talking about the fact that they could use that little bit of time that some of those black people were detained because a raid happened on a building, when at the end of the day, though, like I keep saying, when a raid happens, regardless of what's going on, if you're there and things like that, they're going to clear the building. They're going to detain everybody first, and then they're going to figure out who's who and this and that after running information through the system. It just is what it is. And I definitely agree with this fact that, yeah, it was a whole building for the Trinidad Agua and stuff like that, because a lot of people are not understanding that they did strategically put these illegals in the black communities on purpose. And now that in case shit hit the fan, they can scream out, well, this and that and woo to woo, and black people are under attack and stuff like that to try to, because, man, stop it, bro. And this is where we at. They could sit here and try to claim that black people are under attack by the government. It's the same old trope.
After video, black people saying that they sent the troops for them. What is wrong with y'all? See, you guys are paid actors. Y'all want to rile up the black people so that the black people can be put on the front line to push another agenda that's not going to benefit us. Fighting for immigrants does not help black Americans in any way. That's
Right.
not our problem. We're American. That's the part that y'all keep forgetting. Y'all hate white people so much that you forget that you're American too. You don't have to worry about that. Being deported, immigration. Let them handle that. That's not your fight. But we got people getting on this internet, right? Saying that they're coming for you. Look, they detained black people. Y'all need to cut it out. And y'all need to never listen to these fools again. Because these are the people who are constantly selling fear. They want black people to be scared of something. And for once in American history, we are not the target. Can't we just be happy for that?
Yo. Ooh, he said it. I didn't. But he spoke the truth right then. He said, for once in American history, black people are not the targets. And see, what's going on here is that when this situation first popped off, of course, the mass of black people, we're quiet. We were quiet on this issue at first. If we remember these facts, like, and I'm always preach this. I'm always say this. You know what I'm saying? We need to have long memories. You know what I'm saying? When this shit first popped off, we were quiet. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, the illegals and also, you know, other, you know, people of ethnicity that may be some adjacent to the people that come from these certain countries and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They started speaking out. Well, why black people are not doing this? Why black people are not protesting this? Why black people are not? Listen, look, this ain't our fight. This ain't our fight. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when black people were going through civil rights and all this other type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? The Mexicans and Latins and all these other people that have come into this country in today's society, from India and all these, China and all, you know what I'm saying? They weren't fighting our fight for us. They weren't trying to speak up for us. They weren't doing none of that shit. We fought our fight as black people. We fought our fight in this country and stuff like that. And we actually gained leeway and changed certain laws that actually also allowed some of these foreigners from other countries to be able to reside in this fucking country.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
And that's just the damn truth. Look it up. It's there. The facts are there. And I'm tired of being, you know what I'm saying, somebody outside this country that came here legally, or somebody that's adjacent or have family members or something like that, trying to shame me as a black man, talking about, you know what I'm saying, why ain't you protesting this? I don't have to protest for shit. You ain't protested for their civil rights, after, you know, when black people went through in this country. Now, if you want to be applicable and come to your common sense and understand that some of your people don't need to be here because they came over here illegally, instead of coming over here legally, then we can talk. Other than that, you talking out the side of your fucking neck.
Can we not bask in this glory that for one time in American history, we are not the targets? We should be happy. Why are you fighting for them? Why are you getting on the internet crying for them? This ain't, listen, y'all can call me what you want, but I'm telling the truth. Name something immigrants have done to help black Americans.
Nothing. Except for come over here and be greedy, because at the end of the day, though, we as black Americans, descendants of slaves, all this, you know, other things that are going on, but we as black Americans have put in our time. Ancestors to now, we put in our time. We you know, we more than overwhelmingly earned the right to this country. Our ancestors helped build this country and things like that. Now, fuck that shit. We built this country and things like that. You know what I'm saying? We've done a lot of the due diligent groundwork to help this country get to where the fuck it's at. We don't have no business stepping into this immigration situation. No business. And it's time out for a lot of it's time for the super liberal mindset black folks to sit their punk asses down. This is crazy to me. I'm sorry, but I'll have to tell the truth out here. If you are a born black American citizen, you have no business getting into this shit right here. You need to sit your ass down. You need to sit down. And it's disrespectful to your ancestors, and it's also disrespectful to your livelihood to keep these people coming in here, and they're giving these people, you know what I'm saying, all types of government assistance that they won't give you and things like that, you know what I'm saying, as men and women in the black community. This is crazy. We're going to keep going here.
See, I'm pissed off because a lot of people out there are acting like they don't understand what is actually happening in the city of Chicago in regards to the ICE raids. Let me tell you something. Black people, again, are collateral damage in this. And all the black people that are getting mad at ICE and Donald Trump, hold on, you got to get mad at the politicians right here locally, because it was the politicians right here in your city that decided to dump the migrant issue on the black community like they do every single time. When they came across the border and checked asylum, they were able to come over into our city and get incentives like medical care, 6 months free rent, free transportation, free child care. We fed them each and every day. And those people that they were giving assistance to, they didn't go up to the north side and to the white community. All of the people out there protesting that are white, they didn't open up their doors for them, and they didn't want none of the shelters on their neighborhood. Guess where they opened up the shelters? In the black community. Those same school buildings that they shut down in 2013 that were educating black kids, they took those school buildings and they made them migrant shelters.
Yo. Gotta have long memories, people. Long memories. And they definitely did that. If you have a long memory of what just happened, this situation hadn't even popped up. This hadn't been 10 years yet. This just happened a year ago. Trump hadn't even been in office pretty much a whole year yet. This just happened. They gave these individuals all these amenities. They gave these illegals. They were flying illegals in and dropping them off in little neighborhoods. Y'all remember the situation that they had? They dropped the Haitians off in a small town, almost 20,000 Haitians.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Where your memories at, people? This is wild out here. And I can sound like I'm fussing. I don't give a fuck. But I'm telling you the truth, and you know I'm telling you the truth out there. This is ridiculous here. And they're expecting the black Americans to, you know what I'm saying, pick up this fight. And some of y'all dumbass people out there are, because you're insecure with yourselves. And you need to stand with your other natural born American brothers and sisters. Because at the end of the day, though, you know what I'm saying, the natural born American black people, we've been over here for hundreds of years now, fighting fights, helping change laws and all types of stuff ancestors did. We don't have no business stepping in this new age crap that's going on. This ain't our fight.
And then they gave over $700 million to a company out in Florida to manage those shelters. They took the buildings that you've been asking for to be developed and build new housing, and they made them into migrant homes, giving them 6 months of free rent. Right. They dumped the problem on black community like they do every single time. When it was George Floyd riots, they closed downtown and pushed people to loot into the neighborhoods because they knew that people didn't care. Where was all the people right now? They weren't in our neighborhoods helping us open up back up our businesses. They were not in our neighborhoods helping us clean up. They weren't in our neighborhood.
He talking about Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? Which them fat cat ass broads that were in charge of Black Lives Matter went out and bought all these mansions and stuff like that. Long memories, people. Long memories.
Because when we were fighting for Laquan McDonald, who was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke, I didn't see them at the protest. But now, right now, they want to make black people a part of the fight. When they made us collateral damage in the first place, we are always losing. That's why ICE is raiding buildings where black people are, is because they put them there. They pay for their rent. They pay for their food. They pay for their child care. They pay for everything, but they didn't put them where they live. They put them where black people live because they don't want to invest into the community. So that's the easiest place to dump a problem. So yes, we can say ICE is being aggressive. Yes, we know that our armed forces are always aggressive more to us. But what we can say is that our politicians did it to us. They should have never allowed them to come over here in droves like they did. And then when they did come over here, they should have never put them and dumped them in black communities, acting like we didn't want economic development, like we didn't deserve better schools and deserve community centers and deserve grocery stores. We deserve better. And our politicians need to act like it.
Yo. But at the same time, though, too, let's just keep this real. If the collective group of black people in these situations and in these communities and stuff like that don't demand, they don't get out and talk and talk to their elected officials sideways. And also, too, it comes to the point that, us as black people, we need to actually screen our politicians that we elect, definitely locally and stuff like that, in order to, make sure that we have the proper people in our corner, in our black communities, that actually give a fuck about us and want the best for us. And as well as the black community prospers, our politicians that we elect will prosper too. It has to be an equal playing ground. And I can't negate that. I understand, as a politician, you get into situations, stuff like that. You want to prosper at your career and stuff like that too. But at the same time, though, too, if you're out here, you're supposed to represent a certain demographic of constituents. You have a duty you have a duty to make sure that you respect your constituents and you don't bring any drama, hurt, harm, or danger to the community that you're supposed to represent. This is crazy.
What the French toast is going to think about?
This is crazy. So it ain't over with yet. You know what I'm saying? I got one more, and we're going to talk about this situation here because, you know what I'm saying, it seems like, and we're going here now, it seems like, you know what I'm saying, of course, these ninjas are not going to do anything to defend the community. And we know this, you know what I'm saying? They're cowards when it comes down to real life defense and stuff like that. And the reason why they're cowards, because they're already doing wrong. People that are doing wrong are not going to stand up for people that want to live life right. We're going to go here now.
Bruh, y'all seen that video of that fucking goofball talking about bring the National Guard to Chicago? We gonna handle y'all. Don't bring them up here because Chicago built different. We ain't LA. We ain't New York. We ain't. Shut up, bruh. I don't know why y'all put so much stock in these fucking hoodlum ass, lean belly having ass, fucking YN niggas. I don't know why y'all believe in these niggas so much. Like, y'all think they gonna save the community. Y'all think they gonna rise up and protect the community. Y'all think they gonna take up arms against the National fucking Guard. All these niggas do is smoke, drink, and fucking terrorize the black people that look like them in the very same hoods that they don't own.
Right. And also get a bunch of the same women pregnant in the neighborhood, and then you got them same women come on the internet talking about all men ain't shit. But bitch, you sharing motherfucking Pookie and Ray Ray with the same niggas in the neighborhood, and don't get mad at the other men out here that actually have mindsets that we know not to deal with you because you trash just like Pookie and Ray Ray. Stop it.
So what the French toast is going to think about?
I'm about to come to save you. You and your 3 kids, hey, who's spending money on that? Because we know you ain't nothing but a disrespectful ass motherfucker because you too busy worried about what Pookie and Ray Ray doing, and goddamn it, you gonna disrespect the man that actually got enough money to pay the bills. The fuck out of here. This is crazy. Yeah, I had to see it.
That they claim and rep and throw sets up for. They don't do anything. They don't even rise up against the police that be on their ass. When the police show up, they yes sir, no sir. They get in the back of that fucking car and they take their ass to jail. Then They looking like Young Thug. The police in Chicago walked straight into fucking O Block twice and pulled their Lord and Savior King Von out of that bitch unharmed. Them niggas ain't do nothing. And he was funding the whole O Block at the time. They found FBG Duck goddamn, pew-pewers from they had surveillance on them niggas from the moment they left fucking the hood they was in to them doing the act, all driving all the way back and going in the house. And that's just the police. And you think the military, the world's strongest fucking military might on this motherfucking planet? Man, get the fuck, bro. They don't even rise up against the fucking racist white people that do shit. Like, and y'all think they supposed to mobilize and stand up to the man? Get the y'all. Oh my God, I don't know why y'all believe in these niggas so bad. All they do is steal kids from old black women and fucking RNs trying to go make a living. That's all they do. They don't do nothing to white folk. You see, the minute they went and did something on that white folk part of town up in Chicago with FBG Duck, they shut that shit. Them white folks shut that shit down. And you ain't seen nothing happen since on that side of Chicago. When y'all keep y'all little Negro monkey business over in O Block, they don't care. They'll let y'all take each other out all fucking day. Well, guerrilla warfare. Y'all see that? Y'all don't even know what the fuck. Guerrilla warfare works effectively, specifically due to the fact that you have an invader coming into unknown land and territory, going against people who know the land and the environment in which they're in. So they can stick and move. They can manipulate the environment. All those different things. That's why guerrilla warfare is so effective against. And you're not and usually the occupying force is not trying to take everybody out. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to occupy space and whatever, take over resources and shit. They're trying to go scorched earth. But we have every square inch of the United States mapped out. It's not like they're on enemy territory and we don't know the land and the lay of the fucking land. It's Chicago. Like, y'all ever see, bro, the police have drones and things and stuff like that to my partner has shown me videos and clips of the drones they use in Atlanta. And they just be out there surveilling the fucking trap houses and shit. Can see how you see my face right here. They have drones over there that can do the thermal optics, all type of shit. That's the police. And you think the military... It's a couple things America does perfect and gets it good. That's racism and fucking war. But see if they start using.
So it is what it is here. You know what I'm saying? This young man spoke on a lot of topics. I mean, a lot of points and stuff like that. But this is true. You know what I'm saying? You think that these new age, you know what I'm saying, ninjas are going to protect the community like the Black Panthers did, or, things like that back in the day. And, I know that our information about, Black Panthers and all the type of stuff has been skewed nowadays. But those technically, they call them gangs and stuff like that. But they were actually protectors of the community back then, because it really was real treachery going on. It really was real racism going on back then. This shit we call racism nowadays is ridiculous amongst Black people, and they're keeping up a lot of stupidness, you know what I'm saying, with this quote unquote racism here. The racism is that, you know what I'm saying, the leftist has been allowing a lot of foreign people to come into the Black community, profit, and then overcome the Black community. If you look at your community nowadays, you see your stores, stuff like gas stations, stuff like that. Who running your gas stations in your community is Black people. It ain't you. And you know what I'm saying? I wish it would be, but you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of locking us out of the funds and stuff like that it takes to, own our gas stations, to own our grocery stores, to own our streets in Black community and stuff like that. But they're constantly putting other entities in our community and giving them, the funds to buy up certain things and stuff like that. I'm telling the truth. And this is sad. Black people, you got to get your shit together. You got to stop with this overwhelming thinking that everything is racism. And at the same time, though, too, you know what I'm saying? We need to start coming together a lot more if we want to actually dominate and create a culture that actually thrives for Black people and historical, you know what I'm saying, Black people in this country, actually American Black citizens. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.